So, where am I at these days? Well, a lot has changed. For the better, as far as I'm concerned. I try to find the positive outlook on things, even for the things that I don't think I necessarily want. Sometimes I'm shown, I'm given what I'm needed. We all are. Sometimes we're lucky to get what we want, and that's great too, but had a lot of changes, and they've definitely are things that I never would have imagined, Somebody would have asked me, 5 years ago, or told me 5 years ago, rather, that this is where you'd be in life, I'd be saying, yeah, right, and that applies to even the bad things, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. I'm a happy lady. And, for the people that are in my life, for the people that have stood by me through thick and thin, I appreciate. They're far and few between, but those are the ones that have shown, whose lights have shined bright, and I am grateful, I'm absolutely grateful. And for those that didn't, I'd say, well, I understand. Everybody has a tolerance threshold, and I'm not perfect. Nobody is. Sometimes people outgrow each other. Friendships, we outgrow friendships. We outgrow relationships, and it's nothing wrong with that. Things just happen in life, And then, of course, there are just circumstances where people just don't belong in each other's lives. And that is, it's an easier acceptance to come to terms with than to try to force something and be miserable in toxicity. So I get it. I get it. Many of the decisions that I have made have been for just being kinder to myself and establishing my own boundaries with what I'm going to tolerate and with what I'm not. Of course, you got to compromise and meet halfway in the middle in any type of relationship. But, if it's a situation where you're constantly giving and bending and doing all the apologizing and you're not being met halfway, and, somebody else taking maybe ownership for their role in something, then to heck with it, I'm not going to waste my time. I've apologized more than enough, and I realized, looking back, it's like, I was over-apologetic for certain things, and there were things that I should have never apologized for because I was absolutely right in what I did, and for the things I was wrong in, I've come to terms with, and that's all that matters, is that I came to terms with, because not everybody is forgiving, or, some people like to just stay stuck and dwell on old things that are long gone, so, when people say life is too short, to say it and to live true to it and practice, implementing the practice of knowing what that means by treating others the way you want to be treated are two different things. Anybody can talk the talk. It takes a true person with a hell of a lot of character to walk the walk, and that is far and few between. Anybody can talk the talk. I am still rebuilding my life, I am very, very fortunate, and I couldn't be any happier if I wanted to be. I have my days, where I complain. Who doesn't? But that's life, baby. It's life. what I know, for me is that what I have today is better than anything I'd ever had. And if, somebody can't be happy for me, then that's on them, I'm the kind of person that I'd want to share in somebody's happiness. I'd want to be there for them if they're going through hard times. But when they get to a point of happiness and like God, a place of balance and contentment, I'd want to be a part of that too. Not just somebody, this fixer, this, like, oh, I'll fix you and make it better for you. But then once I do that, you got to adhere and live your life according to what I say because I did this for you. Wouldn't you tell me to go pound sand? But there are people who are built like this, and it's really, it's a controlling thing. And no, you gotta let people be open wide. And when you let people be open wide, in turn comes respect, and in turn comes more love and more sharing and more trust. There's a lot of good things that come with extending some trust and extending people the common courtesy of boundaries and being allowed to be open wide. You gotta let people fall sometimes, not stand by and just let somebody screw up their life, as a friend or as a family member or whatever. But it's just boundaries. It's like knowing, where that line is. And sometimes it's hard to decipher, depending on what the circumstance is. But for me, it's just, I'm getting older, and I realize it's like I am at the place in my life where I need to do whatever it is that I've set out to do that really matter to me, because soon enough, I won't be here. And I don't want to be one of these people who end up in old age bitter because choices that I made, or, looking back saying, why didn't I finish this? Why didn't I do that? I know I could have done this better, or I know I could have done that better, but I didn't. So at the end of the day, you're accountable to you. And that's a big deal. Being ill at ease within the confines of your own skin is a horrible thing. And I know what I'm talking about because I have been in a place of complete self-hatred, and lived in self-destruction and all these things. And today I'll be damned if I'll do that again. I'm getting older and I feel my age, I'm not old, but I'm older and I'm old enough. And it's the age, where it's like, better be careful, You can't take what you took for granted at age 25, in your 40s and 50s. Forget it, So, and if you do, well, good luck to you, if you're still living the same way, thinking the same way, because of fear of change, well, maybe assess those fears, And those are things that only you can answer. Fears are a personal thing. People are controlling because they have fears of something. Many fears. So I just, it's been a while, and I said I was taking a break, from doing videos, and I did. I needed some time, and I was going through something at that time there. I was not going to remove the videos that I had on there, the angry ones, and I said, no, that really doesn't depict the person that I am on a daily basis, It was just something that I was going through circumstantially, and it has long since straightened out, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. There are some things, that I miss, people that have passed away, and my life is much emptier because of that. But then again, I have other people in my life that matter to me too, and No one person replaces another. It doesn't work like that. And if it does, it's really superficial as far as I'm concerned, because no, you know, you don't love two people the same way. But, you know, considering, for me, I can only speak for me, you know, I am very blessed. I have everything that a woman could want, you know, and then much of that is inside of here. I'm not talking about the almighty buck, although many people focus on that, and, you know, people get jealous or hateful over, you know, somebody in a position with money or have a career or back in school, but those are resources that are all available to everybody, you know, so you can't really, it's a choice, you know, if you want to stay and hate and or be miserable over somebody else's success or hurdles that somebody else has overcome. Well, utilize your own resources and you will find that you can have just as much or even more, you know? No two people do things work out exactly the same way. So, that's where I'm at, you know? I have a lot of plans. And, you know, things are coming together. And, you know, again, you know, it's like the people that I have in my life, I am so grateful. I embrace them. And the people that aren't, I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit around and hold on to resentment and bitterness, but I'm just going to say good luck to you, you know. Wish you the best. You're not in my life for a reason. And that's, you know, where it is.